Hello. You know what? I wanted to make a part two because on the other video, paying down your mortgage in 5 years instead of 30 years, I didn't quite get to what I wanted to get to. And that was the part where, all of the mortgage is done, all of the loans, the car loans are done, and every baggage that you can think of on the loan side is done. What do you need now? Well, you need to expand, okay? Because believe it or not, having no debt is actually bad for you, okay? You need good debt. And how are we going to get there? We're going to buy rental properties. Absolutely. We're going to get into real estate investing. And this is part two of that lesson, all right? So here we go. So remember on the last lesson, we actually went and our credit line jumped about $10,000 because we were using the credit line to actually pay off those loans, right? So now we have $25,000 worth of credit, okay? So what does that mean? That means that 25K is ours, okay? Our line of credit has grown, congratulations. And now what you need to do is you need to get you some good debt, okay? Good debt like a single family property, for instance. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is how to get 42 rental properties in 10 years. Count them, 10 years. All right. Does anybody know what our last cash flow was on the last video? Do you remember what it was? 6,800. So really, we just want to let you know right now we are at a 6,800 cash flow, okay, because of us utilizing the lines of credit, of us utilizing the bank's tools to our advantage instead of just theirs, okay? So now that we have the 6,800 cash flowing, we have $25,000. What are we going to do in order to pick up this rental property? We're going to put $20,000 down, okay? We're going to put $20,000 down on this single family rental, okay? So it's $20,000 right there. And what you need to remember is that we're not just going to find any rental property, okay? We're going to find somebody who is in foreclosure, somebody who needs our help, and I'm going to tell you where I got this $20,000 from, okay? Right now. So we go to the person who is, getting notices, and they're really on edge, and we're going to help them out. So we go to them and we say, hey, sir, ma'am, we can help you out. We're real estate investors, and we're educated. We want to give the bank, okay, that's hounding you, we want to give them $10,000, okay? And then we want to give you, the person who's in trouble, okay, we want to give you $1,000. We're going to help out on your other place to rent, okay, because you do have to get out of this house, okay? So that's $1,000 there. And then we want to make sure that the single family rental is going to be up to par. We're going to bring it up to the market value around the area, right? So we're going to look at the homes and we're going to renovate. Okay, and so let's just say that renovation costs $9,000. Okay, so right then and there, we have our $20,000, and that's how we came up with the $20K. This method is called subject to. Can anybody tell me why? Because it's subject to the current mortgage. So what's going to happen here is the mortgage is still going to be in that seller's name, okay, who sold the house to us. It's still going to be in their name, okay, but we are going to be paying the mortgage. No, it is not a loan assumption, okay, because the mortgage is in the seller's name. That's right, okay. So we're going to do a subject to, and we're going to renovate it up. We already gave them $1,000. We already gave the bank $10,000, their bank $10,000. Okay, we actually signed a contract with the bank, made sure everything was kosher, everything was legal. Okay, and now this unit is ours. So what are we going to do? Well, the national average for single family rentals is $1,000 a month. Okay, let's say the PITI, right, was $600 a month. Okay, so what does that leave us? 1,000 minus 600 is what? $400 in what? Say it. Say it. Cash flow. $400 in cash flow. So now, where does the cash flow go? Right here. So we jumped from $6,800 to $7,200 in cash flow. So this property, let's say this property was worth, let's say $100K. Okay. Now, if we paid off a $200K, a $200,000 property in 5 years, how long do you think we're going to take to pay down a $100K property? 5 years? No. I mean, it all depends on your circumstances, but ideally, we want it to be half the 5 years. We want it to be 2.5 to 3 years, okay? So you've paid this property off, and let's say within those 2.5 to 3 years, it did a little something called appreciation, right? Oh man, guess what? I'm getting so excited, I got ahead of myself. Let's do this. So 100K, all right? And say we pay it off in 2.5 to 3 years. And say the 120K, it appreciated to 120K, okay? So let's say after the 2.5 to 3 years, it appreciated to $120,000. What happens to my $600 going out? It's no longer going out, right? Because I paid it off. So how much of the $1,000 do I get to keep? It stays right there in the house. So now I add another $600 to my cash flow. Why? Why am I doing that? Because I paid off, or excuse me, my renters, my tenants, paid off my mortgage. Man, I love my tenants, and that's why I get them dog food for their dogs, cat food for their cats, you know what I mean? Fish food for their fish, because, man, they're helping me out in a major way, right? Okay, so $7,800 in cash flow. We have a property that is now appreciated to $120,000. Can I take out a home equity line of credit on this property? And say they only grant me $100,000 line of credit. How many properties can I buy? Can I do the same thing I did here with $100,000? 5? Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do what we did there. 3, 4, 5. And at first, we're going to cash flow 400 on each one, remember? Because we just times ourselves 5 by 5, right? Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties cash flowing at $400 a month. What does that mean? That's $2,000 in cash flow. And remember, when your cash flow increases, your debt acceleration increases as well. So now it's going to take less and less to pay off things, to pay off these houses, right? How long do you think it's going to take? And say each house, let me go ahead and draw it here for you so you don't forget. Each house was $100,000, okay? And it's each of them cash flowing. How long do you think it's going to take to pay off these houses? Not long at all. So when we pay these off, can we do the same thing that we've done? Because we feel comfortable with doing the same things, right? Look. So now we can get 5 with that. We can get 5 with that, 5 with that, 5 with that, and 5 with that house. And you can just multiply and multiply and multiply. And you say, yes, but CJ, don't forget to tell the people that you can only have 10 mortgages in your name. You're right. They're absolutely right. You can only have 10 mortgages in your name. But what about if it's in your name? What if the mortgage is in your name, and your name, and your name, and your name? Times 10 over how many people there are on the planet. Isn't real estate investing awesome? And that's how you get to 42 rental properties in 10 years. Now, quick math. If each of those properties, okay, paid off free and clear in 10 years, okay, is cash flowing you $1,000 a month, what's 1,000 times 42? $42,000 a month. Folks, that's how the wealthy are doing it, okay? They're doing it because they learned math that wasn't X plus Y equals Z. I'm not making fun of that, okay? There's a place for that. Engineers need that type of math, okay? However, they learned math like this. You know what I mean? And they're doing what we should be doing, and that is building legacy wealth for not only us, but also for our families. Listen, I work with a team of real estate investors. None of this stuff is new to us, but we're on a mission to educate America and Canada and anyone who wants to listen to another efficient and effective way of building capital and handling your finances. I hope this helped a lot. Go ahead and message me, comment, subscribe, like, love it, okay? Because we want to educate America on how to get out of the rat race. Cash flow is where it's at. Y'all take care.